Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went in there? You stand there, looking around, thinking, what was I just about to do? Now, don't worry. We've all had those moments. But as the years go by, those little lapses can feel a bit more frequent, can't they? And maybe, just maybe, they leave you wondering, is my mind as sharp as it used to be? If you've ever had that thought, you're not alone. And the good news is, there's a lot we can do to keep our minds strong, sharp, and active well into our 70s, 80s, and beyond. Think of your brain like a muscle. It needs exercise, stimulation, and the right kind of challenge to stay in shape. And the best part? You don't need fancy equipment, expensive classes, or complicated routines. Just a few simple daily habits, brain exercises, if you will, can make a world of difference. Now, in this video, we're going to walk through 7 practical and enjoyable brain exercises that can help keep your mind clear, your memory sharp, and your focus strong. No matter your age, these are habits you can start today, right from the comfort of your own home. And they're not just good for your brain. They're good for your confidence, your mood, and your overall quality of life. Let's begin with something simple, but powerful. Conversation. Yes, real, meaningful conversation is one of the best ways to keep your brain active. Think about it. When you talk with someone, whether it's your neighbor, a friend on the phone, or your grandchild telling you about their day, your brain is doing a lot. You're listening, processing, remembering details, and responding. That back and forth dance of words, emotions, and ideas. That's brain exercise in action, and it doesn't have to be long or serious. Even a short chat about the weather or what's for dinner can give your brain a little workout. The key is engagement. When you're truly present in a conversation, your brain stays alert, so don't shy away from striking up a chat. Even with someone new, you're not just being friendly, you're keeping your brain young. Now, speaking of engagement, let's talk about something a bit more playful. Puzzles and games. Crosswords, Sudoku, card games, word searches, jigsaw puzzles. These might seem like simple pastimes, but they're actually brain boosters. Every time you search for a word, figure out a number pattern, or piece together a picture, you're challenging your memory, improving your concentration, and sharpening your problem-solving skills. And here's something interesting. It's not about being the best at it or finishing it quickly. In fact, the process is what matters most. It's the thinking, the trying, the little aha moments that keep your brain nimble. So, if you've got a favorite puzzle, make it a daily ritual, or try something new, a different kind of game, a new type of brain teaser. Variety adds even more benefit because your brain loves a challenge. Let me share a quick story. I knew a gentleman, let's call him Bill, who took up jigsaw puzzles after he retired at 72. At first, he said, "I haven't done one of these since I was a kid." But he gave it a try. One puzzle turned into 5, then 10. And he noticed something surprising. He said his memory improved. He started recalling names faster, finding the right words more easily. But more than that, he felt more alive, focused, proud, like he had something to accomplish each day. That's the kind of quiet power these small habits can bring. Now, let's move into something a little different. Movement. Yes, physical movement is a brain exercise too. In fact, studies show that regular physical activity, even something as gentle as a daily walk, can improve memory, attention, and even reduce the risk of cognitive decline. Why? Because when you move your body, you're also increasing blood flow to your brain, delivering oxygen and nutrients that help it function better. But here's the twist. I want to talk about a special kind of movement, coordination exercises, things like dancing, tai chi, or even simple hand-eye coordination games. These types of activities challenge your brain in unique ways because they require timing, rhythm, balance, and focus. Let's take dancing as an example. When you learn a new dance step, even just a simple one, your brain is forming new connections, strengthening memory pathways, and boosting mood. And if you're dancing with someone else, even better, you've got conversation, coordination, and joy, all rolled into one. One woman I met, her name was Evelyn, started taking a weekly dance class at age 76. She told me it was the best decision she ever made, not just for her body, but for her mind. She laughed more, felt more alert, and said she even started remembering old songs and stories she thought she had forgotten. That's the magic of movement and memory. They're deeply connected. And if dancing isn't your style, no problem. Simple balance exercises like standing on one foot while brushing your teeth or tossing a ball from hand to hand can offer the same kind of brain challenge. The goal is to get your mind and body working together, because when they do, both stay stronger. So far, we've talked about the power of conversation, the joy of puzzles and games, and the connection between movement and brain health. And each of these, in their own way, helps keep your mind sharp, focused, and full of life. Let's keep going, because there's more we can do to support our brain every single day in ways that are simple, enjoyable, and deeply rewarding. Now, let's talk about something we often take for granted, the power of learning. You might think that learning is just for school-age kids or college students, but the truth is, your brain loves to learn at any age. In fact, giving your brain something new to chew on is one of the best ways to keep it sharp. Have you ever tried picking up a new hobby? Maybe you've thought about learning to play an instrument, speak a new language, or even just understand that newfangled smartphone better. Well, each time you stretch your mind in a new direction, you're building something called cognitive reserve, a kind of mental savings account that helps protect your brain as you age. I remember a gentleman who, at 80 years old, decided to learn the guitar, not to become a rock star, just to play a song or two for his grandkids. At first, he struggled. His fingers didn't quite move the way he wanted, and reading music felt like deciphering a secret code. But he stuck with it. Bit by bit, he got better. And here's what he told me. It's not just about the music. I feel more alert. My memory's better. I'm more patient. I even sleep better at night. That's the power of learning. It wakes up parts of your brain that might have been dozing off. It brings a sense of purpose, of growth. And that, my friend, is fuel for your mind. Now, I'm not saying you need to master something overnight. In fact, the joy is in the process. Just exploring something new, reading about it, watching videos, practicing a little each day can do wonders. So whether it's gardening, painting, baking a new recipe, or joining a book club, ask yourself, what's something I've always wanted to try? Your brain is waiting to dive in. And speaking of trying something new, let's talk about using your non-dominant hand. Yes, you heard that right. Something as simple as brushing your teeth, stirring your coffee, or even writing your name with the opposite hand, is a small but mighty brain exercise. Why? Because it forces your brain out of autopilot. It challenges your coordination, focus, and problem solving, all while doing something you've done 1,000 times before. At first, it might feel awkward, maybe even frustrating, but that's the point. That moment of, wait, how do I do this, is exactly what your brain needs. It's like waking up a sleepy part of your mind and saying, hey, time to work. Plus, it's a fun little challenge you can do every day, anywhere, anytime. No equipment needed, just a willingness to try something a bit out of the ordinary. Now let's move to something that many people underestimate, the power of visualization. You might be thinking, visualization, isn't that just daydreaming? Well, not exactly. Visualization is the practice of mentally picturing something in detail, whether it's an object, a place, or an action. And it's a powerful way to keep your brain engaged. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're standing on a beach. Feel the sand under your feet, hear the waves crashing, see the sunlight shimmering on the water. Now picture yourself picking up a seashell, turning it over in your hand, noticing its shape, its texture. Can you see it clearly in your mind? What you've just done is activate several areas of your brain: memory, imagination, sensory processing. And doing this regularly, even for just a few minutes a day, helps sharpen your focus, improve your memory, and reduce stress. Some people use visualization to plan their day, practice gratitude, or even rehearse tasks they want to do well. One woman I met told me she visualizes her morning routine before she gets out of bed. I picture myself stretching, walking to the kitchen, making my tea, reading the paper, she said. It helps me feel more organized, more peaceful, and it starts my day on the right note. That's a simple habit, but it creates a strong mental foundation. So, if you have a few quiet minutes in the morning or before bed, try it. Visualize something joyful, calming, or even a goal you want to achieve. It's not just relaxing, it's brain building. Now, before we move on, let's take a moment to think about what all of these exercises have in common. They're simple, right? Nothing too fancy or difficult. But they all have one powerful thing in common. They ask your brain to be present, to be awake, to engage fully with the moment, the task, the feeling. And that truly is the heart of staying sharp. It's not about doing more. It's about being more mindful, more curious, more connected. Each time you stretch your mind, whether through learning, challenging yourself in small ways, or simply visualizing something meaningful, you're not just exercising your brain, you're strengthening your life. And the beautiful thing is, there's no age limit on that. Whether you're 70, 80, or 90, your brain is still capable of growth, of joy, of surprise. All it takes is a little daily attention and the willingness to try. Let's keep going. There are still a few more powerful habits you can bring into your life starting today. Let's take a moment to think about something that touches all of us. Memory. Not just the kind where you try to remember where you left your glasses, but the deeper kind. The stories, the faces, the laughter shared over the years. Our memories are the threads that stitch our life together. And one of the best ways to keep those threads strong is through storytelling. You might be thinking, what does storytelling have to do with brain health? Quite a lot, actually. Every time you tell a story, whether it's to a family member, a friend, or even just to yourself, You're calling on your brain to recall, to organize, to describe. It's a rich mental workout that engages memory, language, and even emotion. Try this. Think of a moment from your childhood, maybe a holiday, a summer afternoon, or something funny that happened at school. Picture it clearly, then speak it aloud. The details, the sounds, the feelings, they all matter. Now tell that story to someone you care about. Not only will you be giving them a piece of your life, but you'll also be strengthening your own mental pathways. I once spoke to a woman who, every Friday afternoon, would sit with her granddaughter and share a story from her past. It became their tradition. And over time, she noticed her mind felt clearer. Her recall improved. She said, "It's like opening a window and letting fresh air into my brain." That's the magic of storytelling. It connects us to others and to ourselves. And if you're someone who enjoys writing, try jotting down a memory each day. It doesn't have to be long or perfect. Just a sentence or two about something meaningful. Over time, you'll build not only a strong memory practice, but a beautiful collection of your life's moments. Now let's turn to something that often surprises people: the power of laughter. Yes, laughter. It might seem lighthearted or even silly, but it's one of the most powerful brain exercises out there. When you laugh, your brain releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine and endorphins. These chemicals reduce stress, boost mood, and actually improve cognitive function. Have you ever noticed that after a good laugh, you feel more alert, more clear-headed? That's not just your imagination, it's your brain coming alive. So whether it's a funny movie, a joke with a friend, or just laughing at yourself when you forget why you opened the fridge, embrace it. Laugh often, laugh freely. And remember, laughter doesn't just benefit you. When you share laughter with someone else, you're creating connection, joy, and mental stimulation for both of you. It's a win-win, and it's free, immediate, and available to you every day. I knew a man named George who joined a local comedy group at 75. He didn't think he was particularly funny, but he wanted to try something new. Week after week, he showed up, told jokes, laughed with others, and slowly noticed something. His mood lifted. His mind felt sharper. He said, "I can't remember when I've felt this alive." That's what laughter can do. It's not just an escape. It's a form of brain health. So now we've walked through a range of exercises, from meaningful conversation, to puzzles, to learning something new, to telling stories and embracing laughter. And through it all, there's been a common theme: presence. The more we engage with life, with curiosity, with purpose, with joy, the more our minds thrive. But here's something important to remember. It's not about perfection. Some days will feel sharper than others. Some moments, you might forget a name or misplace your keys, and that's okay. What matters most is that you keep showing up for yourself, that you give your brain the chance to stay active, to be challenged, to feel alive. And the truth is, it's never too late. Whether you're 70, 80, or 90, your brain is still capable of growth, still capable of joy, still capable of surprising you. Every time you try something new, every time you connect with someone, every time you laugh, reflect, or imagine, you're investing in your brain's health. I want you to take a moment and think, which of these brain exercises can I start today? Maybe you'll call a friend and share a story. Maybe you'll pick up that crossword puzzle again. Maybe you'll dance a little while making dinner, or try writing with your non-dominant hand. just for fun. Whatever it is, take that step. Not because you have to, but because you can. Because your mind is worth it. And if you found this helpful, if any part of it made you smile, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, your experiences, your favorite brain-boosting habits in the comments. Let's learn from each other and support each other. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new tip or story. We're building a community here, one that celebrates life, health, and joy at every age. So here's to you, to your mind, your spirit, and your journey. Keep it sharp, keep it curious, and most of all, keep it joyful, because every day is a chance to grow, to laugh, and to live fully, no matter your age. Subscribe. Subscribe. Subscribe.